Hi, my name is Patrick Sennett, and this is my senior project presentation. So my central question was, how can I host a flag football game in order to fundraise a plaque or a banner? For what we're going to go over today, I have my goal, some background information, the event itself, the creation of the banner, the Warrior Dog Foundation, and then we're going to wrap it up. So the goal, why I chose this project. I love history and I love football, especially Mohawk football. It's something that I take a lot of pride in, having been a part of that. So this allowed me to combine my love of history with my love of Mohawk football and research into the history of it and some of the players that came before me. And I also got to honor said players through this project. So the impact, this project is allowing me to show future Mohawks what's possible out of Millis. I've known a lot of people that have transferred from Millis in order to go play sports somewhere else, at like a private school, because they thought they would get better exposure for college. And this banner has a list of names of Mohawk football players that want to play in college. And this is showing athletes, not just football players, but anyone from Millis, that you can achieve that goal and dream out of Millis, you don't have to leave. It also created a fun community event in the form of the flag football game. And like I said before, I got the chance to honor past Mohawks through this project. So some background information. I have some stats here that kind of put into perspective for me what an accomplishment this actually is to make it to the NCAA. So there's 1,006,013 high school football players in the United States. Of them, only 73,712 make it to the NCAA. That's everyone's in the NCAA for football right now. That's only 7.3% of the high school football players. And when I have the distribution levels across the divisions down there, and that kind of shocked me that Division I has actually the most, the highest percent out of that 7.3, which I thought it was going to be the lowest because Division I is incredibly hard to make it to. And then from high school to the NCAA all the way to the NFL, only 1.6% of the NCAA's football players will make it to the NFL. So that means that of our high school football players, you have a 0.001168% chance of making it to the league, which is incredibly small. So the event itself, so first I have my materials. So for the facilities, I used the school's football field, the Welsh Memorial Field, and in order to get that, I had to submit a facilities request form to John Angler. So he approved that very quickly and set me on my way to keep planning this. For my equipment, I needed to get flags and pylons, so I contacted Mr. Kiggin, who runs Millis Flag Football, and he was very nice and got those over to me the day of the event, very last minute when I needed them, and he got them to me right then. For the footballs and the jerseys that the Millis players wore, I asked my mentor, Mr. Lagos. He let me borrow them from the school's football team. My referees were volunteers from both Millis Flag Football and Dynasty Flag Football, which is out of Boston. And then the players, I emailed Chief Sapphire and Chief Barrett at Millis Police and Millis Fire, and they got me a whole group of volunteers, and they were very, very helpful in planning this event. And then for the Millis team, I asked some of my friends on the football team, and I sent them to go some teachers. Unfortunately, none of the teachers I asked were able to play, but the players that played, we still had a great time. For our regulations, I use regulations from NFL flag football, and so that entails a 70 by 30 yard field with 2 10-yard end zones and 50 yards of playing. So I got Dana Olson, he painted the lines for me of that field, gave me the sidelines, the end zone line, and the 50-yard line, so thank you to him. Some of the rules that we followed: offensive rules, we have flag guarding, which means you can't push away somebody's hand when they're trying to pull your flag. No pitches and laterals at any time, which means you cannot toss the ball to another player or else play what we call dead. Defensive rules: rushing, the rusher have to line up 7 yards back from the line of scrimmage. If they left early or they lined up in front of it and they rushed the quarterback, then that's an illegal rush. And also pass interference, which is preventing the receiver from making a catch. So the game itself, the day of the event, I think was a great success. The audience turnout was really good. It was better than what I was expecting it to be. And most importantly, our players had fun. For us high school guys, it was one last chance to play out on the field, even though it's not, it wasn't full contact and it wasn't under the lights. It was one more chance out there with your friends that you've been playing with for years now. And for the police and fire, that allowed a lot of those guys to kind of relive their quote-unquote glory days when they used to play, because a lot of them did play here. So I know they had a great time with that. And I also managed to reach my fundraising goal for the banner. I knew the banner was going to run me about $150, $120, $150, and I actually doubled that fundraising goal that I had set at $150 and raised $300, which I'll get into more what I did with that money later. So the banner itself, I had to research the names of Mohawk football players. Originally, I wasn't going to make a cutoff on that, but I decided to make a cutoff of everyone since 2000 that wanted to play in college, because when I was thinking about it, one, making a list could end up being really, really long if I didn't cut off at a certain point. And when I started listing off players that I personally know that have gone to play just in the last 10 or so years, I already had a bunch of names, and if I kept going, it was going to become difficult. With this cutoff, it did create a bit of a roadblock for me, that one of the people I was going to ask for help with these is a man named Rusty Cushman, who's our town football historian, but he specializes in Mohawk football from roughly the 80s and before. So by making that cutoff in 2000, it kind of eliminated him as a resource. Thankfully, I had Mr. Craigie and his brother-in-law who played in the early 2000s. So they were very helpful with finding the names that I didn't know. In the end, I found the names of 23 Mohawk football players who went on to play in college, including pictured here, Peter Fallon, John Baker, Kevin Pine, Gabe Wilson, and Brian Kane. So the design of my banner, I designed it on Canva. It turned out how I imagined it in my brain, and I was very excited about that. But when I went to order it, I did run into a bit of a roadblock because I uploaded it to Vistaprint, but Vistaprint said that the image quality was too low, so that kind of stumped me for a few minutes, and I had to find a way to get it to a higher resolution so I could actually order the banner. So then I picked out the sizes and the material. I ended up getting a 4x6 foot banner made with outdoor vinyl with reinforced edges and grommets to hang it from. The final cost, including shipping, was $101.13. So the Warrior Dog Foundation, this is what all the additional money went to. So I ended up being able to donate $200 to them, which was incredible. So the Warrior Dog Foundation is a charity based out of Texas, which helps to retire police and military canines once they are done with their service. I found them through New England Patriots center David Andrews' My Cause, My Cleats from the 2021 season. That's what's pictured there. My Cause, My Cleats is something that the NFL does every season, where NFL players are able to select a charity that they really like and want to work with. They make custom cleats where they get them painted to represent that charity, and they wear them in a game, and after that game, they auction off the cleats, and all of the proceeds go to that charity. So it's a great cause, and because of that, I was able to fund this charity, which connects to my project because one, I found it through football, my project is all about football, and two, it has to do with canines, military and police canines, and it was a police and fire like football game, so it connects right there. As I said, I was able to donate $200 to the Warrior Dog Foundation, which made me extremely happy, because I was thinking at the most that maybe I could make another $50 on top of what would cover my banner, and I ended up making another $200, so that felt really good for me to be able to give back to a charity that I really feel strongly about. So in conclusion, some of my successes and my challenges were the event itself. It went really well, it was a success. Banner designing, like I said, it came out exactly how I wanted it to. I doubled my fundraising goal, so that was another success. Some of my challenges were time management. I really struggled with trying to motivate myself to do the work. Finding the names, like I said, I got rid of that resource in Rusty when I made the cutoff time. And then the event planning, I just needed a lot of pieces to kind of come together in order for that to work. Thankfully it did. Some continuation that could be done with this project. This could be done for another sport, for example, basketball, to show more than just what football players have done here, but all these other athletes that have gone on to play in college. And we've had a lot of the girls basketball team move on recently. So that could be something for something next year. And also continuing with police and fire versus Millis High School flag football game. I picked this up from Johnny Clayton last year. Somebody could pick it up off of me this year. And I think it's a really great project. I had a lot of fun doing it. Some credits, I'd like to thank my mom and my sister who helped me out at the day of the event. They collected money for the tickets and just really supportive all throughout this. My mentors, Mr. Lagos and Mr. Caulfield, Chiefs of Fire and Chief Barrett at Mills Police and Mills Fire. Without them, I would not have been able to do this event. John Angler and Dana Olson, who helped me with all the facilities, and Ben Stetzel, who was one of my referees. He runs Dynasty Flag Football and is also the head of referees for Mills Flag, as well as the Kiggin family. Henry Kiggin was one of my refs as well. His dad runs Mills Flag, he's the president of it, and his mom helped me get all the stuff that I needed out of one of the boxes. Here's my works cited. And any questions? Thank you.